RCA?
South of Capitol would be RCA, so if you go south in a east-west road, I believe that's restricted parking for residential areas. So usually the customers for that block park by St. Robert's across the street, so on that side of Capitol, because it's pretty open unless the regulations were changed a couple of years ago to allow 2-hour parking, so it never really fills up. From my experience being there 6 years, I've never had a problem.
It's busy for about, I've hung out there quite a bit, kind of checking these things out, and I understand that it's busy right when school lets out for about 15 minutes or so. And there's the potential to design around that in terms of patient.
I was thinking more employee parking, where people would be parking all day long.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I do have just a general question. From the past, when I ever came to a plan commission meeting, I remember the past plan director always said that for older buildings that already exist, there was some special clause that says you're exempt from the parking status or the parking regs. Is that not correct?
That I would need to
Okay.
look into it. To my knowledge, I'm not aware of that. If it is, I can report it and modify my review stuff.
Okay. That was part of the just letting you know, part of the atrium's
Okay.
deliberations, if you want to look at the wording. Okay? I have no concerns. Does anyone else have any discussion or questions?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay?
I move to approve the conditional use application for proposed chiropractic clinic at commercial property 2211 East Capitol Drive.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Oh, Planning Director
Could I
Barr.
just comment, if you're reading it from the memo, I think I mistakenly did not include the parking special exception within that motion. So if you'd be willing to modify that and or make a second motion when you need that, but I believe I copied and pasted that incorrectly.
I'm willing to make that, I can do that.
Would you like to state how you'd like it to be said?
I move to approve a conditional use application and special exception, and parking special exception for proposed chiropractic clinic at commercial property 2211 East Capitol Drive.
Sound good?
I love it. So I'll make it again.
Okay?
So I move to approve the conditional use application and parking special exception for a proposed chiropractic clinic at commercial property 2211 East Capitol Drive.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Our next. Yes, we do. Agenda item number 9, public hearing, consideration of a conditional use application and parking special exception for a proposed cycling fitness studio at commercial property 4521 North Oakland Avenue. Planning Director.
Thank you, President Rosick. Ty Gruber and Caleb Vogt, doing business as Power Cycle LLC, have applied to operate cycling fitness business at 4521 North Oakland Avenue. The property is zoned B2 Mixed-Use Residential District. The B2 Mixed-Use Residential District is intended to provide opportunities for mixed-use development while encouraging residential development. The district allows buildings of exclusively residential use as well as mixed-use buildings with residential uses on the upper floors and retail, office, service, or restaurant uses on the first floor. Buildings of exclusively commercial use are not permitted. This district will allow additional shopping opportunities while adding residents and vitality to the village. Fitness studios are not expressly permitted, conditioned, nor prohibited within the zoning code, so per 53510B shall be considered by the Planning Commission as a conditional use with a public hearing if the Planning Commission determines that the use is substantially similar to permitted use or an existing conditional use allowed in the district. As with previous approvals for Anytime Fitness and Orange Theory Fitness, fitness studios may be considered similar to dance instruction studios as listed within 53521C. The proposed lease space is located within a parcel that, together with 2 neighboring parcels to the north, has been developed with a 4-story mixed-use building with commercial tenants, performance running outfitters, indulgence chocolatiers, and structural elements clinic on the ground floor and 22 apartments above. The proposed operations: Power Cycle is seeking to lease approximately 2,200 square feet, formerly occupied by Yo Mama Yogurt. The operators propose to offer 45-minute instructor-led indoor cycling classes to participants from 20 to 30 people. The business will operate with 2 shifts and a maximum of 4 employees. The anticipated maximum number of people on site at any one time is 40 people. Proposed days and hours of operation are 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Based on approval of conditional use, the business hopes to be operational by September of 2018. In relation to parking, based on maximum occupancy, the proposed use would require 10 off-street parking spaces, 1 for every 4 persons at maximum capacity of class, which they indicated would be 30, plus 1 space per employee, which is 2 per shift. 2 off-street parking spaces for employees are provided as part of the tenant's lease agreement. The site is located in a commercial corridor with on-street parking, bike racks, and access to bike share and public transportation. Per village code, the planning commission may grant a special exception to the provisions and requirements of this article. The applicant has accordingly applied for and is seeking a special exception for the parking. Based on review of the application and existing site conditions, staff has no objections to proposed operations.
Thank you. Do we have the applicant or the agent here that would like to say any words?
We're present, but we have nothing to add at this time unless you guys have questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else in the audience, any property owner or resident that would like to have a statement or ask a question? Yes.
Hello, I'm a resident, and I was just excited
What's your
to
name?
hear that. Sorry.
Can I just have your name?
Sure, my name is
And
Mandy.
address.
1705 Eastwood Place.
Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, I drive 40 minutes from my cycling place right now. So I walk to my grocery store, I walk to the bars I like to go to, so I'd like to walk to where I work out. So I was just excited to hear that this was going to be here, and that's why I'm here. So I hope all goes well. I don't know if that has any weight, but
Thank you so much for your comment.
sure.
Mandy, what was your address again?
1705 Eastwood Place. So I'm actually right by Orange Theory, but I'd rather do some cycling.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to say anything?
I'll just say quick, I'm Andrew Prater, 3701 North Downer, and I represent the owner of the building. We're fully supportive and really excited for them to be a member of the community.
Excellent, thank you so much. Okay, so hearing no others, we will close the public hearing and ask the commissioners if there is any deliberation or questions. Trustee Commissioner Menta. I'm the
I just, that there's residents above, and, I know, where's 3 Lions, that's a different building.
That's to the south.
There are
To the
residents
south.
above.
But I know there's been noise complaints from residents of that building about the Ravenna, about 3 Lions operation. I'm just thinking like 5 in the morning and loud, is there loud music while people are cycling? I assume there is. I don't know, if I were living there, I might be concerned about 5 a.m. I would definitely be concerned about it. I don't know if that's something that touches upon this conditional use or not.
Would you like to reflect and
Sure.
state your name and address?
Yeah, so my name's Ty Gruber, and yeah, with the sound, it's definitely going to be loud, no doubt about it, but the number one concern that we have, and we're working with the landlord, is creating a sound envelope. So we got about 6 to 7 feet to work with, where we're going to do as much acoustical engineering as needed, and then the landlord also obviously owns the rest of the residential section, so we're going to kind of go up there, do sound tests, and just keep modifying as necessary until we have something that's satisfactory for everybody.
Thank you.
And what, I had to look this up recently for a very enthusiastic mower and grass mower in my neighborhood, but the noise ordinance is 7 a.m. Is that weekends, weekdays, it's always 7 a.m.?
I believe it's 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Or 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
throughout the week.
throughout the week, yeah.
Is it for indoors or outdoors?
Well,
My
I'm just thinking there may be enough noise prior to 7 a.m.
My understanding of noise ordinance is that it can't be heard from the public right of way. So if they can't create a sound envelope, that's not heard from the sidewalk, or it's not heard from other locations, it wouldn't be in violation of that. If by chance, it's blaring into the street, that would definitely be something that could be enforced by the police department, during those hours.
Yeah, it'd be handled like any other residence complaint would be. They'd go investigate. If there was a problem, obviously we'd have to be notified.
And I believe it's like, there's a limit to that, right? And there's 2 times or 3 times or, before action is taken.
I had to double check the code.
I think they generally give a courtesy warning.
Oh, of course, just so that the property owners know and the tenant. Does anyone else?
Any of the residents of the building been notified that there might be a cycling studio put it on the first floor?
Yeah, it's to our knowledge that the landlord has spoken to the building manager and kind of relayed this to everybody as well as the tenant. There's one tenant directly above us, so there's only going to be hopefully only one person that would potentially be impacted by the sound, and they are aware of this. So we're working to do sound tests pending the outcome of tonight.
Following up on that question, were the property business owners adjacent to the properties or within a certain radius notified?
Not with this application. Code doesn't require it, and we hadn't heard anything differently, but.
They were notified for the most part by us. We met most of them.
Yeah,
So-
not to the village
Yeah.
formally, but.
Can I just ask one other question? It would be like, also like Three Lions and not just the ones in that building? And did anyone have any concerns?
No, so we haven't actually, to my knowledge, I haven't spoken with anybody from Three Lions. There is obviously an alleyway in between, but as far as I know, I'm not entirely sure if anyone's spoken with them. But Indulgence Chocolatiers, which will share our back office, so it's not directly next to any walls that will have any sound. There's a lobby to enter into the apartments between us and Indulgence, and then there's just a small, maybe 10-foot area where the walls are going to be shared along our office wall. And they were notified that we are coming in, so.
So, thank you so much. And I might have missed this, so there's 40, the difference, here's my concern. I have heard repeatedly since being elected from the business owners there, including the restaurant, that parking is big commodity and that they are struggling because of it. That unlike the south end, or the south end of Oakland, where we have two parking structures with public parking, they've repeatedly been asking for some sort of public parking on the north end. So typically a smaller business like your Mama's or Indulgence Chocolate, you'd have people coming in and out for a period of 30 minutes at the most. If I'm reading this correctly, and help me out here, Bart, for a second, but it's at any one time 40 people might be attending a class?
There was kind of a conflicting statement in the operations. My understanding is the maximum class would be 30 people.
Okay.
And so maybe there's people hanging around, I don't know,
5:30.
or whatever, but, so yeah, they indicated in the application 40 people maximum on site at one time, maximum class capacity at 30, some instructors and, possibly other people.
And there's no parking, is that correct?
There's 2 parking spaces provided within the lease for employees,
Right.
but nothing specifically for customers.
30 people at one time, half were pedestrians and transit users or bikers. You still have 15 additional cars on the street, is that correct? So I have a concern, and this is my first meeting, so I'm not quite sure what to do about that one. Trustee Mehta.
Workout people are usually like early morning or after work, so, in the morning, I don't think it'd be an issue with morning people, because the other businesses aren't doing that. But, the after work. Isn't that
Yes.
when the rush is?
So to add to that, she's exactly right. We offer classes earlier in the morning, and we're usually done by 9 a.m., 8 a.m. Right now at our location in Tulsa, we're done by 7 a.m. And then we offer classes in the evening after work gets out. So we're not necessarily running all day long where it would be a consistent flock or trade of 30 people. Kind of peak hours are in the morning and then later in the evening.
You close at 6?
So right now our last class will end at 6. So I don't know if you say we close at 6 or not. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Trustee, Commissioner Miller?
And how much time is there in between classes? About 45 minutes long, and then does the instructor get a chance to recover before the next group comes in?
Yeah, so right now the way we do it, we stagger them 30 minutes apart in Wauwatosa.
It sounds like a great idea.
Something that we could modify
Yeah.
if we had to.
So after you burn up all those calories, you can go get some chocolate, go get a beer. thing, just another question. So you're working on sound abatement. That was, I had a similar question to trustee Menta. And then one of the other things you said was, well, the typical body odor from exercise class. So are you increasing ventilation? Will there be more air conditioning from all those people cycling? What other modifications do you anticipate making to the space?
So there is actually 2 air conditioner units in the space that your mama had that we would be potentially entering. So we're actually going to have a dedicated room with its own air supply that's going to be able to ventilate and exhaust air out as well. And then there's also, not that we anticipate using it, but there is an exit door kind of out the back where we could always open it up and fan it out if we ever had to, which is actually going to be, would be planned to be part of the inside of the studio room where the cycles would be. So.
And on your diagram, I saw the cycling theater. I'm just curious, what is the body pump room?
So that's a room where we would have just like a weighted section, similar style where it's like instructor-led group fitness with just weights off the bike.
Okay. And let's see if there's something else. As far as deliveries to the business, do you anticipate